ants. A little history. They march through grass, across sidewalks, over the kitchen counter, and onto the picnic blanket as uninvited guests. They come in many colors such as red, yellow, brown, or black. They can be small as in 1 millimeter long. These magnificent creatures are ants, awesome ants. Ants crawl around under the dinosaurs, early mammals, and ancient birds more than 100 million years ago. And the Cretaceous period, they used to look more like wasps. They had shorter jaws, stingers that could extend from their bodies, and middle and hind legs that were better for climbing. Today, more than 1 million species of ants living in deserts, rainforests, swamps, and cities on every continent except Antarctica. They have been able to survive for so long by adapting to changes in their environments. Body parts. Like all insects, ants have 3 main body parts: an abdomen, a thorax, and a head, and 3 pairs of legs. Some tropical species can grow to approximately 38 millimeters long, but most average 5 millimeters to 15 millimeters long. The rear part of their body and the abdomen, also called the gaster, which contains the heart and stomachs. The heart is a long tube that pumps translucent blood through the ant's body without using blood vessels. Ants have 2 stomachs, one for their food for the ant itself, and the other for the food to be shared with the colony. The middle part of the body, called thorax, is based on is a base for all the ant's muscles. The 3 pairs of legs are designed for running quickly, and each leg has 3 joints and little hooks that allow ants to climb almost anything. Ants do not have ears, but they have an ability to detect sound by feeling vibration through their legs. The head contains the brain, eyes, antennae, and mandibles. The mandibles, which open and close like scissors, protect the front of the mouth. An ant's most important tool. Mandibles are used for cutting and carrying things as well as for digging and hunting. Some ants can close their mandibles so quickly that they can make a clicking sound. Ants can chew and swallow food. Instead, they swallow the liquid that they squeeze from their food. Ants' diets vary according to their species. Some prefer sugar liquids, while others cultivate fungus. Still, others prefer to scavenge for whatever they can find. Ants are very strong and can lift more than 20 times their own weight. All ants can bite, and some have stingers and venom sacs that they could use to protect themselves from predators. Many ants don't have stingers and spray toxic chemicals onto their enemies. The 2 eyes, called compound eyes, consist of hundreds of lenses that combine many images into a single picture in an ant's brain. Some ants have 3 small sensors, called ocelli, on the top of their heads to detect light and dark. Ants use their antennae to taste, hear, smell, hear, and communicate with other ants through touch. They can also use their antennae to recognize their friends in the colony and to detect enemies. The long, thin antennae bend in the middle, like the human's elbow, and are constantly moving. Ants don't have hands lungs. Instead, they breathe through small holes called spiracles. And over their bodies, oxygen and carbon dioxide enter and exit in the ants' bodies through the spiracles. Ants' bodies have a hard waterproof convoy called an exoskeleton, which gives them support and protection to the elements, as well as predators. Let's talk. Ants communicate with each other in three ways: touch, sound, and smell. Ants touch each other's head and antennae to send different messages. They can also make noises by rubbing their legs together on their bodies. By recognizing these noises and comparing them across many ant species, scientists have learned that these complex signals are the call for help. Ants communicate mainly by smell. They release special scented chemicals called pheromones, which linger long after the first ant is gone. Different scents send different messages. For example, some pheromones work as an alarm to warn other ants that danger is nearby. An ant that has discovered food emits a scent trail for other ants to follow. The trail allows them to find the food and return to the colony without getting lost. The more ants that follow the trail, the stronger it becomes. When an ant can't find food, the chemical warning decays, so that other ants do not go that direction. One big happy family. Ant colonies, which can have millions of members, are filled with activity. Some ants are active year-round, while others hibernate in the winter. Some ants build their colonies in logs or trees, but most build their colonies underground. Little mounds of dirt or sand can tell telltale signs of an ant's colony's location. Some ants reinforce the entrance of their colony by mixing twigs into the dirt and adding protection from flooding. Colonies can have many different chambers, which all have different uses. Some chambers store food, while others are nurseries for eggs. Colonies even have spaces for groups of ants to relax, and a special chamber for the queen. And ants are social insects that work together as a group, and every ant has a function and special skills to perform it. Working ants and soldier ants find food and protection the nest. These are usually the ants that you see above the ground, and the older ants in the colony. Other ants build and expand the nest, care for the young, and do other jobs, including taking care of the queen. The ants take that work inside the nest. The nests tend to be younger ants. All these ants are female, but only one can lay eggs, the queen. In other words, all the ants in the colony are related. The queen. The queen is the leader of the colony, but she doesn't control all the activity in it. The largest of all the ants in the colony. The queen is an egg-laying machine. Some queens can lay thousands of eggs every day, which translates to millions of ants in the queen's lifetime. She needs to make offspring because most worker ants live only for an average 45 to 60 days. Most colonies have one queen. When other queen ants hatch, they fly out in search of a new location to start another colony. After they start laying eggs, they lose their wings. The queens can also live longer than most insects. They can more than 25 years, but when they die, so does the colony. Yep, ants are awesome. Ants may be small, but they can do awesome things. Thousands or millions of ants working together can build a bridge to cross a gap in their path. They can also shape themselves into rafts and float across rivers without drowning. Though teamwork, ants can overpower animals hundreds of times their own size for food. While some types of ants can be trouble for humans, most ants are beneficial and support to the environment in many ways. They spread seeds, protect crops, and eat by eating flies, caterpillars, and other pests, and improve the soil for plants by digging. Stop and watch a trail of ants, or better yet, follow them. Just don't step on the trail. Ants' abilities are in spring. They learn more about the highlights, how awesome they are.